In what's been a turbulent year for many, thousands prepare to stand together and stay visible at this year's Kentuckiana Pride Festival and Parade. Thanks for joining us here tonight on the Night Team. I'm Isaiah Kim Martinez. Doug is off. This weekend marks Kentuckiana Pride Foundation's 23rd year of celebrating. As Connor Steffen and photojournalist Ian Hardwitt learned, leaders expect this to be the biggest turnout yet. They join us live from downtown. Connor.
Well, Isaiah, leaders said that they could be expecting around 20 to 30,000 people to gather tomorrow under the Big Four Bridge. Now that means a busy Friday was in store for the 160 plus vendors here working diligently to get things ready for one of Louisville's biggest pride events they've ever seen. No matter where you find yourself in Louisville, you're bound to feel a sense of pride.
We love you, Louisville. Yeah, we love Louisville so much, and I think that Louisville supports our community.
What else could bring House of Sequins business partners Sabrina Cox and Katie Stefaniak
Stay gayed up, y'all.
to make the 4-hour trek out here
Do you follow?
for Kentuckiana's Pride Festival this weekend?
If you've ever been to a Pride, you want to go to every Pride ever. It is the happiest month. It feels like you can truly be yourself without being judged. It's warm, it's happy, I mean, I hate to just overuse the word joy, but it's just joy.
It's amazing. I mean,
This year marks Kentuckiana Pride Foundation President Rodney Kaufman's 22nd celebration.
the times are changing, and they still need to change. There's a lot still going on that shouldn't be going on, but unfortunately, until we stand up for our rights and continue to have Pride festivals to be able to celebrate our authentic selves and live our true lives, we have to do this.
And if this past year has taught us anything, it's that pride grows stronger in the face of opposition.
Why are we worried about a drag queen or someone who's living their life as a trans person? I'm like, let them be themselves, and how's it affecting you?
You are so much more than your state and your legislation, and we are so much bigger. We have overcome and we will continue to overcome.
You know, the bottom line is, look, this community exists. I'm all about, just letting people live their lives.
A community of thousands who plan not only to celebrate each other this weekend, but support each other too.
Now we have politicians who are trying to push us back in the closet, and I'm like, I refuse to go.
So there are countless Pride events taking place tomorrow. That includes the Kentuckiana Pride Festival taking place at Waterfront Park. That event goes from noon till 10 p.m. For more information on that, you can head to our website, WHAS11.com. We're live in downtown Louisville. Connor Steffen, the WHAS 11 Night Team, on your side.
Connor, thank you very much. New here tonight, or some more news tonight, a judge in Indiana has temporarily blocked a bill that would ban the access to gender-affirming care for minors in the state. The ACLU of Indiana filed a lawsuit against a bill signed into law this legislative session. It blocks transgender youth from accessing medication or surgeries that aid in transition. The law also mandates those currently taking medication to stop by the end of the year. The lawsuit says the ban violates the U.S. Constitution's equal protection guarantees and federal laws relating to essential medical services. Supporters of the legislation contend the banned care is irreversible or could carry side effects. Now, in a statement, ACLU Indiana's legal director Ken Falk called today's ruling a win and vowed to keep fighting to get the law completely struck down. Also, a Kentucky woman forced to make what could be called an impossible decision. She's on a mission to let other women know they aren't alone. Earlier this year, Heather Mayberry had to travel out of state to get an abortion because she was told her baby had no chance of living. But Kentucky laws prevented her from inducing labor or getting an abortion here. Mayberry and her husband, Nick, were expecting their 4th child, but she was diagnosed with anencephaly, a serious birth defect in which the brain and skull do not fully develop. Babies with the condition are either stillborn or die within hours of being born. Mayberry says even though Willow had a heartbeat, doctors told her she wasn't alive because there was no brain activity. But under Kentucky's heartbeat law, her options were to carry a fetus declared dead for another 18 weeks or travel out of state. She and Nick chose to travel from Stanton, Kentucky to a clinic in Chicago for an abortion.
After going through everything I went through, I didn't want to be silenced or be quiet. Because other women are not brave enough or too scared or too ashamed.
While Mayberry says she never believed in abortion for herself, she says women should be able to make their own choices about their own bodies. And she hopes by sharing her story, laws can be changed for future generations. Also tonight, a huge break in a southern Indiana cold case. A teenage boy missing since he went camping with his friends back in 1971 has been found. His remains identified after 50 years. That's all according to authorities. The three friends were students at Brownstown, Indiana High School. 19-year-old Jerry Autry, a star football player, 17-year-old Stanley Robeson, a member of the school's Christian Standards group, and 16-year-old Mike Sewell, vice president of his class. All three spent the night in a cabin that caught fire, killing Jerry and Stanley, but Mike's remains were never found. Just last year, a Jackson County detective decided to reopen the case and the search for Mike Sewell. Lieutenant Adam Nicholson says he teamed up with archaeologists from the University of Indianapolis to find answers. After removing and analyzing remains, experts say they found 3 people inside Jerry Autry and Stanley Robeson's caskets. Archaeologists then tested the bones for DNA. One was a match for Robeson. Through tests, or though tests haven't confirmed it yet, Mike's sister, Linda Pack, is sure the third body is her older brother, Michael.
If I never get DNA, I'm happy with what I did get. I mean, it'd be nice if we did sometime. We've not given up on that, but I'm happy with the way it's turned out.
Multiple agencies were involved in the working of the 52-year-old cold case, including the Jackson County Coroner's Office, the FBI, the University of Indianapolis, and the Indiana State Police Lab. The Jeffersonville Police Department is investigating after 2 children died today in separate incidents. The first investigation happened this morning. Police were called to Ramsey Way near Snyder Drive at about 6 this morning. When they arrived, they found a 6-year-old had died sometime last night. Police are working to determine the cause of death. Then at about 11 this morning, police were called to the Motel 6 on Hospitality Way. There, they found a toddler who police say was the victim of a hit and run. The toddler was transported to Norton Children's Hospital in Louisville, where she was pronounced dead. Investigators are actively working and say they have identified a potential car involved. Jeffersonville police say that there is no concern for public safety and that both incidents were isolated. Also, the Justice Department with a sweeping report today that found the Minneapolis Police Department routinely violated constitutional rights and discriminated against Black and Native American people. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland, called the Minneapolis Police Department's conduct outlined in the report deeply disturbing, saying George Floyd should still be alive today. Garland accusing the MPD of engaging in a pattern of racist and abusive behavior that violated people's constitutional rights, especially those of Black and Native Americans.
MPD stopped Black and Native American people nearly 6 times more often than white people in situations that did not result in arrest or citation.
We acknowledge the pain, anger, frustration, fear, and sense of vulnerability that many people in our community have endured. I am here today on behalf of the MPD to affirm our commitment to moving forward together. It is our time to lead, to heal, rebuild, and create the kind of police department that every Minneapolis resident deserves.
The investigation was launched back in April 2021 after former police officer Derek Chauvin was convicted of murdering George Floyd by kneeling on his neck for more than 9 minutes after he had been handcuffed. Garland says now the DOJ and MPD have reached a deal in principle, which requires reforms to be overseen by an independent court-appointed monitor. That's to ensure changes. He also acknowledged how MPD has started implementing some reforms, including prohibiting neck restraints and banning no-knock search warrants. Unionized UPS workers voted overwhelmingly today to authorize a strike if the company and Teamsters can't come to an agreement before their contract expires. The Teamsters said that 97% voted for the authorization, which the union says will help them have more leverage during negotiations. UPS said in a prepared statement, the strike vote does not impact the company's current business operations. They called the vote a normal part of the negotiation. They say they are continuing to make progress and remain confident they will reach an agreement. And of course, we had the westbound lanes of I-64 closed for a while. Now it's the eastbound lanes officially shut down for the next 2 weeks. You're actually looking at right now some active work done by crews on those roads. As you can see, the westbound traffic, but eastbound, again, closed for the next 2 weeks as crews begin the work to repave the eastbound side of the interstate. Crews finished up doing the same work to the same section westbound earlier this week, and tonight, the work has begun, of course, on the east side. The closure goes from Story Avenue in downtown all the way to the Watterson. The shutdown is part of the effort to work on that section of 64, which they say hasn't been updated or repaired in more than 2 decades. Many drivers saying the same. The shutdown is expected to last until July 1st. Also happening today, all eastbound lanes of I-64 on the Sherman-Mitten Bridge are shut down. That happened around 10 tonight, and they're set to reopen at 5 in the morning Monday. The closure will allow crews to do the same or to do some diamond grinding on the bridge and remove temporary support brackets. During the closure, you're advised to take I-265 to I-65 in Indiana.